All right, another edition of Riding Home. Dean Legge, Matt DeBerry, Ryan Curley. Hey, listen, it's looking like it's going to be Carson Beck, but we'll see, right? That's what the spring is for. What are we getting into here, Matt? I mean, I think in terms of all of the physicality, Carson's got everything you need. We just don't know if he can do it when he's got to do it. Is that basically where we're at?
I think so. I've been a big Carson Beck guy for a while. I think he has all the tools from everything we've heard around the program. A lot of people think he is the guy. A lot of people are excited about the Carson Beck era, but we know covering the Kirby Smart Georgia Bulldog team that he's going to say there's a battle. Best, quarterback is going to win it out in the spring. But I think it's clear that it's Carson's job to lose from someone who covers the team. Obviously not within the program, but he's been the clear backup. He played in 6 games last year, played pretty well
Seven.
when he was in those games, 7 games. So he's got the experience. He's going to be in his 4th year. They recruited him out of Jacksonville for a reason. They like what he brings to the table. He is a winner. He's got a big arm. I do think it's his job to lose, but he's going to have to hold off, Brock Vandegrift, who was a 5-star for a reason in his 3rd year. Gunnar Stockton was, rewrote the history books in the high school in the state of Georgia. He's really good. This will be his 2nd year. He's more comfortable. So if he fights off those 2 guys, which I think he is going to, that just shows that he should be ready to play in 2023, Ryan.
I do think, just first of all, that it will end up being Carson Beck. But regardless, I think you have to have a battle. You just, after having Stetson and having that, I think at least at the beginning, it's got to be a little bit of a battle. What do we have? And Brock and Gunnar, are they ready to go
What is the
now?
beginning? What is the beginning?
Right now, spring. I mean, their spring is soon. I mean, it's
Right.
really not that far away. It's in the spring. I think it'll probably be figured out very quickly. But if it's not already Carson Beck, it's going to end up being, he's been on the field a good bit, and he's thrown touchdowns, man. He's been out there. They've scored. He's made some mistakes in the very short sample size we have of him in a Georgia uniform, but the zip on the ball is promising. I think that in moments this year, he showed some mobility that I know I wasn't sure if he had. He showed that he has better wheels than I thought he did. He's not Stetson Bennett running around like a little maniac, but it's a very talented group of 3 who all kind of do different things. I thought that Carson it was just my guess. I didn't have any info on this. I thought he was going to leave last year. I thought he was going to transfer after 2021, but he stuck around. This is year 4. I think he knows it's his time.
Let's not forget that there was a moment in time that it looked like he very well could have been the starting quarterback at Georgia. I'll go through this again. Going into the UAB game, there was in 2021, there was a lot of discussion that this is going to be Carson Beck's going to do it. I can tell you right now that they almost did go with Carson Beck, but the reason that they didn't wasn't because he told his trainer and all this stuff. That's not what it was. It was because they were concerned about the offensive line at Georgia not being super healthy for that game, and they felt like Stetson was more mobile. They were going to play both guys anyway. This is according to Todd Monken on the record, so I don't know. But Stetson was the National Player of the Week that week, so he outplayed Carson, and they just took it from there. I can't remember the next game was South Carolina, but the game after that was Vanderbilt, I think. And then, Stetson kind of caught wind and got it going. He just played better. If you like this sweatshirt, Georgia, it's cold in Georgia these days, so pick it up. It's from our friends at Red Zone. It's right down below. If you do not order double dogs by 11:59 Sunday night, you will not be getting confetti. So I'm not going to continue this past Sunday night. You have been warned. A lot of y'all watch these. Tell your friends. If they don't do it, that's it. So that's where we're at with that. But I think Carson, y'all, when you get down to it, this is a question of, can this team win the national championship? Can they win the Southeastern Conference? And Ryan, I think they can with Carson as the quarterback. He's very gifted, and he's just different than Stetson. And Stetson was different than every other quarterback before him. It's fine.
I think that 12-0 is again something that should happen. They are
Probably.
better they are going to be better than everybody
You don't
on
think
their
they're going to
regular
go
season schedule.
6-6 like Zion Logue was talking about?
Oh,
What are we
dude, I don't know
talking
where this is coming.
about?
There's it's whatever. If that's what they really needed to play
But
like
they
that,
don't.
then
They
that's
don't. They
fine.
don't believe it. So I don't know
There's
why
no
they're
way
saying
they
it.
Why would
believe it.
you put
They
that
started.
out there as the organization?
No
Well,
one
no,
said that.
Nolan Smith said the same thing. I think Stetson Bennett
All of them said
on the
that,
stage
dude.
said was everyone
That's
was doubting him. But that might be another video for another time. But
to go
it's crazy.
6-6. Like, are these guys delusional? Or y'all delusional? I listen. I'm not gonna say who I talked to, but one of them tried that with me, and I was like, no, dude, that's not what this is. And they didn't. They were like, yeah, I know, but I mean, like, oh my god. Go ahead, Ryan. I don't.
Yeah, but
They should. I think
the
they probably
whole
should go
team. I mean,
12 and
there's a
0.
lot. There's more people coming back this time than there were last year. I think, as far as starters go, 4 offensive linemen that played a lot.
Four of
3
the
of your
five.
running backs. Yeah, exactly.
Four of the
4 of the
five
5 playoff
starters on the
starters.
offensive line for the 2 playoff games are back. You're losing some receivers, which is complicated. I don't know what's going on with Robert Thomas, that whole thing. That's not
But you
good.
get Dominic Lovett too, and you still got some other guys. Ladd's coming back. Arian Smith
Sure.
has
Brock
finally,
Bowers.
gotten involved. You still got Brock Bowers, Oscar Delp, 2 highly recruited tight ends coming in. This offense is going to be really good again. It's going to look a little different with Carson in there
We
versus
thought
Stetson.
though we thought last year's offense was really going to be good, and it was, or last
We
whatever
did, and it
2022.
ended up
Yeah.
being honestly, it ended up being better than what we said it was going to be. And we thought it was going to be like that, where they're
See,
scoring around 40
you need
points a
to
game, but
quit
they were just
doubting
dominating.
them, Ryan. Why are you
I'm
doubting
sorry I
them all
said
the
that you were going to have a
time?
top 5 offense. I didn't realize that
Quit
wasn't good
doubting
enough.
them, Ryan.
I'm sorry I said you were going to go to the national championship again. I didn't realize that
Why
wasn't
didn't
good
you
enough.
pick them to win it, Ryan? Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, the players
Buckling
read
under
all those. They
buckling
watch these videos. So they know.
Ryan is
You want to
buckling
go
under
back to
pressure.
that?
Ryan is
You want
buckling
to go
under
back to that?
pressure.
Hey, 0-1, man. He can do it again if he wants. Watch the tape.
Go ahead. Sorry, Matt.
Trying to remember what.
Matt is on a delay. Matt is on a delay. That's why y'all shouldn't
Yeah.
cut Matt off. Why does Bean always cut off Matt?
No, I thought the defense was going to be a lot better than it was. I was right there. But they're going to be really good again. So there's no reason to say. I think most people expect them to be in the playoff again. So that there shouldn't be any of this. We were doubted again in 2023 because they are going to be really good. They're incredibly deep. Some of these guys that they signed in the 22 class played a lot. Last year we saw the emergence of Jalen Walker, Bear Alexander, in addition to Michael Williams and Malachi Starks. Those are just guys on defense. So we saw Branson Robinson, what he is able to do. Maybe not this year, but next year in his 3rd year, he might be one of the best running backs in college football. So a lot of young pass catchers who a lot of people just don't know about yet, and a lot of young offensive linemen too that are ready to make their mark eventually. So very young team still. They've got a lot of experience in places like the defensive line and some on the offensive line as well. But young, but talented, and extremely deep.
So Ryan's got to jump here, so I'm gonna leave him with this. I want him to do this before he jumps off. Ryan, it's great that Carson's got a really big arm. That's awesome. You can talk about Brock's athleticism. Same thing with Gunner. But can these guys play quarterback? That like the vast majority of times, the big arm is not something that you really have to have. Can they play quarterback? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, you got to make the right choices. I'm trying to go back and think about the moments where Carson Beck got on the field this year. He did go through his progressions. I mean,
Yeah,
he did.
he
He
did.
looked good. I know it wasn't that much, but he scanned the field. He waited for the guy to be there. I think he can do it. It's just a matter of, here are the keys. Are you going to wreck the car or not? That's what it comes down to. He's got all the weapons. He's got a great offensive line. He's been in the system for the whole time that Todd Monken's been there. He knows Todd Monken's system. Granted, if Monken's still here, I think he's going to stay in Athens. I don't know.
So far, it looks
seems
like that. Yeah.
It seems like that's what's going to happen. But he should succeed. Is he going to be a Heisman finalist? Maybe. Is he going to do what Stetson did? I don't know. Like he has the capability as far as his arm goes. I've never watched him play live quarterback in high school or anything, but in the moments I've seen him at Georgia, it's promising. And he's ahead of the other two guys for sure.
All right, Ryan's going to jump. Matt, you have seen him play. Uh,
Well, I'm going to
and,
jump after he says this.
all
I want
right,
to
go
hear it.
ahead. We both have seen him in Jacksonville doing his thing. Your comments.
Yeah, 2019 Halloween night, night before Georgia, Florida that year, and he threw for 4 touchdown passes, led them to a victory. James Franklin, Penn State head coach, was right there, watching from the sidelines. He left at the half, trying to get his way into the Carson Beck recruitment, but at that point he was all Georgia. But he was really, really good, and he moved with his feet, threw the ball downfield accurately. And I think a lot of people don't realize this. I heard a story that when Todd Monken was with the Jaguars, his son and Carson played baseball together. So he's known, Carson and his family for a long, long time, going back to their days in Jacksonville together. So he knows what Carson's capable of. And I think deep down, he's, got some plays probably drawn up that they haven't run the last 2 years. Maybe something that just Carson can do that fits his strength and how he plays the game. So I think he's having a good old time thinking about, what this offense could look like under Carson. And if you're a play caller, you're an offensive coordinator, you want to do this with multiple quarterbacks because that just even better
Uh-oh.
that multiple guys can run your system.
Yeah,
Back.
well, yeah, you're good. No, the Gremlins almost
Okay.
got us again. Look, I think I've seen it as Ryan gets off. I've seen what Carson can do. It's just only you still have to go to Tennessee and perform. I think the going to Auburn game will help a lot. Yeah, we are assuming it's Carson. I don't think it's 100. If we've learned nothing else, it's that Kirby Smart will start multiple quarterbacks in a season. It doesn't mean it's an unsuccessful season. They won a national championship like that. They won an SEC championship like that. It's not on. It's not by design. So I'm not with a firm assumption that it will be, Carson for sure. But he's definitely in the lead. And I think if he's the guy, then it's a different style of offense, but it could be more lethal in terms of passing. Bryce Young, you're going more towards what Alabama has done of late. I think though the difference, though, Matt, and I'll let you jump in on this too. Georgia has been more committed to the run, or they've just been better with the run than Alabama has. I think that matters. You lost Kenny, but everybody else is back. Don't you think the run game helps and the offensive line?
Yeah, I wonder who's going to replace those 42 catches that Kenny McIntosh
Well,
had last
Kenny,
year. The year
yeah,
before that,
yeah,
it was James Cook, and we said who's going to replace James Cook? Well, it
yeah.
was Kenny McIntosh
Well, it
catching
could
a
be
lot of
Paul. It
passes
could be
last year.
Paul. It could be Paul. I don't think it's going to be Kendall. Could be Edwards. They're just not as lethal.
Right. That's not their strength. Whereas Kenny's strength is his versatility and his ability to slash. And when he has the ball on the outside, whether it's a sweep or you throw it to him, he can make a guy miss and get upfield. So I'm not worried about the running backs at all, but I do think that someone's going to have to step up and make plays in the passing game out of the backfield. And I just wonder how that is going to work. I think Paul, he's more of a bruiser. We haven't seen him because he was hurt last year, but he's like 220.
Yeah.
Not a guy who looks like a lethal pass catcher out of the backfield like James Cook and Kenny
Right.
was, but someone's going to have to replace that production, not that talent, not that skill set, but that production. And maybe they just look a little different on offense because they don't have that type of guy. So, you work around your talent and
Well,
going back
and
to the quarterback situation, I just don't know. Are they playing the best guy or the safest guy? Because Kirby's not one to really take a lot of risks at the quarterback position. And Stetson was the safest pick. And maybe he was the more talented if you include his ability to run. But I think he'll go with the safest option still, knowing what they have defensively.
I wonder though. I mean, I do think that Carson is probably not just their best option, but in terms of throwing the football, I think he is the most gifted.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's the best quarterback. And I'm gonna tell you right now, they will wind up on the best quarterback. When I say I don't know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he is or if he isn't. My suspicion is he probably is. But they do have. I mean, Gunnar Stockton is very well developed for sure. And what you get to the table with Vandergriff is raw athleticism the likes of which we've seen with Stetson, but it's like it's I would say it's more than that. Am I wrong about Vandegrift?
No, because he can run you over too. He's
Right.
not as quick, but when he gets
Yeah,
going, he can be
he's
really tough to stop and
fast.
bring down by one defender. Yeah, he's fast for 200 pounds, and he doesn't mind putting a shoulder down. And he's
Oh,
going to have to change that a little bit in college.
Stockton
Not going
doesn't
to run
either though,
over,
man. Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And that's
But
my concern with Stockton was he doesn't seem real big, having watched him play live and been on the field and all this. He doesn't seem big,
he's got some thickness to him,
but he
and he's
yeah,
strong in
he
the
doesn't
lower body.
seem big,
But
but he's got a very big knee to waist.
yeah,
He's developed and he's just not raw. I think he will be a starter at Georgia at quarterback. I don't know when. I'm skeptical that it will be in 2023. I think it will be. I think it will be Carson, but Carson's got to prove it leading up to now, and he should. Man, we're 4 years into this thing, right? I mean,
yeah.
everybody knows Carson Beck, so it's not like this is anything new or anything like that. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're picking up the book. If you do not pick it up by Sunday at 11:59, you're not getting the confetti. That's it, Matt.